Are you ready for 19 inches of Venom?
Oh my god, I saw that. That is such a weird... I don't know who the hell... Like, what marketing person did that? Like, did they realize what they were saying?
It was the funniest thing. Everyone was just like, what?
Yeah, that's wild.
Dude, oh,
every so often you get a marketing thing like that where it's just like, what the hell were these people thinking? Yeah, that was funny. How much is that, by the way? Did you see? Did you see what that?
Oh, that one. It's like $250. I want to say.
That's not as much money as I thought it would be, actually. I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
I bought the God of War one when it came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a big Daredevil statue, because I love Daredevil, but it's still in the box though, because I don't really have room anywhere to put it. So I need to figure that out. But I've had it for nearly a year now. It's very cool, but yeah, still in the box. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Earth's Mightiest Comics Reloaded, or just Earth's Mightiest Comics Standard if you are on Spotify. This is a show where every week we talk about the new comics that come out that week and what we think about them. Any recommendations on our part as to what you should be reading or what you should not be reading, or read whatever you want. It's your money. Anyway, yeah, this week it's a little bit... there's more comics, at least, that I'm going to be talking about than I was last week. But I don't feel like there were quite as many heavy hitters this week as there were last week. That being said, still a decent week, I think. This is the first week post Night Terrors. So that means that DC has finally kind of resumed all their normal series. So we've got a new Birds of Prey that started this week, a new Blue Beetle series that started this week, as well as a bunch of other continuation of other things, including the continuation of Gotham War. And then, yeah, there's some other stuff we'll be talking about, of course, as well. This is going to be one of those weeks where I have read a lot more than Sebastian. I feel like it's been a while since we've had one of those, though. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Anyway, we'll kick things off here. I figured, do we want to start with Gotham War here again, since we both read that as well?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so yeah, this is Batman number 137. It's Gotham War Part 2. This one's written by Chip Zdarsky, and Jorge Jimenez is back on the art after a long period of not being on the art for the series. Last week, we talked about the one-shot. I was not a fan of that. I really didn't like it.
Yes.
What did you think about this one, though, Sebastian? This Batman issue?
About this Batman issue. I remember... I think I remember really liking it, right? But, like, I don't know if it's simply because of the fact that I had, like, literally read all of from 125 is what I started, and I read all of it up to this point. So I don't know if I'm a bit biased. I don't know if biased is the right word, but like, I don't know.
Got the like recency bias or the
exactly, yeah. Like, so that's why I enjoyed it so much. But I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I thought this was really good. I really this issue kind of flipped me around on the event a lot more, and I think it's partially because this one doesn't really focus as much on the Batman Catwoman conflict. It's more about Bruce going insane,
yes,
and the rest of the Bat family trying to kind of rein him in, which I think is more interesting. I thought this was really good. The art is fucking incredible. It's really good to have Jorge Jimenez back on the art.
Yes, I like you said, like I really like the whole like Batman going insane thing. Like, it's like because he's not really Bruce Wayne anymore. Like, Bruce Wayne basically lost everything, but there's still Batman, and so he's just being Batman 100% of the time now. And so that's I feel like that's really weighing on him now at this point.
Also, spoilers for everything, and time codes will be below, as I mentioned that. But yeah, and also you've also got like Zur-En-Oz just taking over more and more now, which I think that's really interesting. I don't know if that's an angle that's going to be resolved in Gotham War. It might be, because it seems like that's really been ramping up in this arc as opposed to what it was in the previous parts of this run. But that has been, I think, maybe what I think is the most interesting part of Chip Zdarsky's run so far. Is that thing with Zur. And then yeah, you also have at the end Vandal Savage buys Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
And I guess he knows who Batman is now. Not that I think Bruce is kind of past caring about a secret identity at this point.
Because he was rushing to the cave to delete everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if it's like, I don't know if that's simply to protect everybody else's identity or just his, you know?
I don't know if he cares though at this point, because he's really going after all the Robins and the Batgirls and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell really, but I don't know.
What else? There's also we see a lot of the villains get together and be like, "Hey, we gotta take back our henchmen," which answers that's a kind of. I think you brought that up last week. Like, why isn't anybody else doing anything about this? So I guess that's answering that question a little bit there. I don't know if I have too much to say on this issue here. But yeah, I liked it a lot. The cover's weird. I don't really know what's going on with that cover. It's just Selina's outfit that I'm like, that is quite an interesting.
I was about to say, there. I can understand the cover, but yeah, the outfit, yes, I guess the shirt, no Batman, and then
the leopard.
It kind of seems like Zur in all colors, right? Because he has yellow, actually, purple, and red.
Yeah, that's not a bad call out there. I just think it's like the like weird purple jacket and the leopard print pants and the cat.
The leopard print pant. I mean, the leopard print pant Catwoman, I guess, but like.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting combination. But yeah, I don't know how. If you have anything to say, feel free. But I think I'm sitting at a. Ooh, I marked this as a 9. I don't actually know if I'd go that far. I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. But this is probably my pick of the week. Actually, I like this one quite a bit.
I was gonna say like this. I gave this one a 9, and this one was definitely my out of the because I didn't read that much. I only read 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, I read
and
9.
this one was definitely my pick of the week out of all of them. But I gave this one a 9. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a break from Gotham War next week, and then it's back with Catwoman 57 in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of continues to unfold because I was questioning last week whether the reason I didn't like last week's issue was because it was co-written by Chip Zdarsky and Teenie Howard, and I'm not a fan of Teenie Howard as a writer typically. So we'll see. Does next the Catwoman one is solely written by Teenie Howard. This one was solely written by Chip Zdarsky, and I like this one a lot more. So. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but for now, I think this is definitely a step in the right direction for this event. Okay, I suppose I can just do a lightning round real quick of all the things that I read that you didn't read.
All right, let's do it.
Because yeah, I read a lot more. I'll start with Blue Beetle #1. I'm just gonna try and kind of run through these quickly here. Yeah, this one I thought was all right. Off the back of Blue Beetle's new movie. I think they were like, hey, let's put out another Blue Beetle ongoing, and yeah, I think it's okay. I didn't love it. It's written by Josh Trujillo, I believe is how you pronounce it, and then the artist is Adrian Gutierrez. The art is very stylized, and I sometimes I think it works for me, but sometimes it doesn't really. And the writing is fine. It's very bright in terms of its tone. And Jaime is just so optimistic to the point where I'm like, I don't know, it kind of almost got grating to a degree. Not overly so. And then the other part, so it's like it's just kind of getting people introduced to him as a character because not everybody's gonna have read. I think this is the first Blue Beetle comic I've ever read. To me, where this issue really kind of pops off is in the back half where a new villain pops up, the Blood Scarab.
Yes.
And then like really fucking thrashes Ted Cord, who's Blue Beetle #2, Jaime's Blue Beetle #3. So yeah, like Ted gets fucking destroyed and maybe killed. It's a little bit tough to say. But he like gets really thrashed. So that was more interesting. I had kind of I felt more engaged with that part of it. But yeah, the rest of this I think it was fine. I did not mind it. it wasn't amazing, but I think I'll probably still pick up the next issue anyway. One thing that was kind of weird is it looks like Starfire is on the cover, but she's just not in the issue.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it also says this site says that Guy Gardner has a cameo, but I do not remember seeing him in this issue at all, so I don't know about that.
Lantern, yeah, great.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this was okay. I gave us a 6 out of 10, but not amazing. Then what else? Then the next one I read was Fantastic Four number 11. I have been back and forth on the series. I didn't talk about issue number 10 because I hadn't read it when we recorded that episode. I did read issue 10 now. I think generally I go back and forth on the series, but I appreciate what it's doing in that it's just kind of telling these 1 or 2 issue one-off stories that are they have really cool creative concepts. The execution doesn't always land for me, but I think generally I really like the creativity that's on display here. Last issue, it was about a spaceship, and the Fantastic Four were like coming through as it was in a weird collapsed well of time, and the Fantastic Four were trying to come through and resolve it, but they were manifesting as like these really creepy horror creatures. And then this one was Ben just wakes up and he's just him in the house and this stray dog are just falling through this pit to the center of the earth endlessly, and he has to figure out how to get out of it. I loved this issue. I thought this issue was fantastic. This is maybe my favorite of the series so far. I do think the first half is definitely stronger than the second half, which was also, I felt that with the previous issue as well. But the part of Ben just falling through the center of the earth was just so cool. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be based on the description. Just him trying to kind of figure out his way out of the situation. It's really it's pretty tense. It's awesome. It's so cool. And that lasts for about half the issue. I was just really into it because it's like Ben is the only character in the Fantastic Four who this would really pose a problem to. Like Johnny would just fly out, obviously. Yeah. Sue would force field her way out, like make a force field and then levitate it with her in the house. Reed would just stretch his way out. So Ben's the only one here who really would have any sort of struggle with this. And so I think him trying to figure his way out of this is really interesting. Then, though, I do think the back half takes a bit of a dip, not as hard as it did in issue number 10, but I do think it dips a little bit because it does turn out that this whole thing is just an illusion, which kind of makes sense. I don't really know how else this would really have worked otherwise. And so it's like a double-nested illusion made by the Molecule Man. No, hang on, not Molecule Man, the Miracle Man, I think. Yeah, Miracle Man. And so once I get to that point, I do think it becomes a little bit less interesting. It's still fine. I think it's decent enough in that second half, but I do think it takes a dip a little bit from the first half. That being said, that first half was really strong. I think it's essentially a perfect sequence. And so I ended up giving this an 8 out of 10. This was actually almost my pick of the week. I still give it to Batman, but I thought this was fantastic. No pun intended. Then moving on, I've got Moon Knight next. This is Moon Knight number 27. Yeah, this series is still good. I like it. I think there's only 3 issues left. After this one, it's wrapping up this run. This issue very much did feel like a middle chapter in the arc, which is kind of the one criticism I have. Well, 2 criticisms. It's that, and also, so the writer on this is Jed MacKay, and the artist on this one is Federico Sabatini, who's not the series regular. The series regular is Alessandro Cappuccio. Sabatini is kind of the fill-in artist when Cappuccio is out. The art is still fine, but I definitely do miss Cappuccio's work on this. I think his line work is a little bit cleaner, and I just kind of am more into it. There were a couple of splash pages in this issue where I was like, okay, yeah, this looks kind of cool, but I think I would have liked this splash more if it had been Cappuccio on it. It's still fine. Yeah, story-wise, this is essentially just follows Mark and Badir Hunter's Moon. They kind of dive into the mind of a character called Vibe, who I'm not super familiar with, but he's kind of instrumental to the plans of Black Spectre, who's kind of the main villain of this last arc here. This issue kind of, because I remember a couple months back, I talked about issue 24 and how my complaints with that kind of arc there between 19 and 24, the arc that was ran through those issues, was that it was a lot of one-off stories that were building to something, but I didn't really get the sense of momentum from any of them. And this felt like another one of those kind of situations where it's a middle chapter, it's kind of a one-off side quest to figure out what Black Spectre is doing and where he is before they go into the final confrontation over the next 3 issues. So as a result of that, I did feel like this was kind of stalling of momentum a little bit. I did not think it was as good as the past 2 issues in this arc. The first issue in this arc was incredible. Last issue slowed down a little bit, but I still think it was pretty solid. And this one I do think was a little bit slower again, but I'm still definitely going to keep going with it. There's only 3 issues left, and I still like this run enough, and I'm really excited for the next 3 issues because it does seem like it's really going to be building that big confrontation there. That is, it was awesome in issue 25, and I think it'll be awesome in the next couple issues as well. So I give this one a 7. What next? I think I've got 2 more that I read that you didn't read. Next one of those is Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy number 14. Yeah, this series is still totally fine. It's good. I should say it's good. I think the first arc was definitely the highlight of the series so far. I don't know if this is partially because initially this was intended to just be a 6-issue miniseries, but then the sales on it were so good because those 6 issues were so good that it got extended into an ongoing. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a situation of like G. Willow Wilson kind of had that really solid foundation for the first 6 issues and then kind of had to come up with more stuff on the fly. I don't know if that's kind of what happened or not. But I do feel like this series has stalled a little bit since those first 6 issues. I do think it's kind of been rebounding back to a higher level of quality recently. I think that kind of issues 7, 8, 9 were not the best. But I do think it's picking up a little bit of momentum. It has this issue introduces a new villain who we don't have a name for yet, I don't believe. But yeah, it's Pam, it's Ivy exploring this like weird psychedelic building. The art's pretty cool. It's artist is Marcio Takara, and so she's kind of exploring this building and seeing this new villain. And the other part of it is Janet and Harley going around and just having adventures. Seems like Janet and Harley are starting maybe a relationship as well. Like it seems to be a kind of a 3-pronged relationship triangle thing between Janet, Harley, and Ivy. Also, there's a brief Batman appearance in this. I think it's real Batman. Yeah, this is it's fine. I think this issue was not as good as some of the others, but I do still like this series a lot. I like G. Willow Wilson as a writer a lot, so I'm gonna keep going with this one for sure. But I gave this one a 6 out of 10. And then the last one that I read that Sebastian did not read is The Sacrificers number 2. I read this one. I read the first one, and I remember thinking like, it's okay. It's kind of slow. I'm not really loving where it's going, but I see a lot of potential for where it could go. I remember like being like, yes. Yeah, I liked a lot of the ideas on display here. I'm just not. I don't think they're fully baked yet. Not even fully baked, but I don't think they've been fully realized yet. And I think that's going to come later in the series. I still feel that way. I still think it's really promising where this is going. But yeah, I did not like this issue. I thought this was not very interesting. I got really bored throughout this one. It's essentially just after the last issue, all the people who have been sacrificed are just kind of trekking along this big journey to go to their ultimate destination. Yeah. And that's pretty much what the issue is concerned of. Is it's that and just a lot of dialogue conversation about like them trying to figure out what's going to happen to them. Dialogue is well written. It's Rick Remender as the writer, who a lot of people love. This is the only thing I've read from him so far. And then Max Fiamara is on the art. Art looks great. But yeah, this kind of actually, the closest thing I can equate this to is actually the Cull issue number 1, where it actually has that same similar feel where they're just kind of going through, and then at the end, there's a big double-page splash reveal of where they're going, and it's this like big, like colorful paradise thing with all these like weird plants and everything. So that was intriguing. Essentially, the reveal here is that the people who are becoming sacrificed, it's actually they're being kind of taken to then go run the government, essentially,
Oh,
or to be part of like the high council that makes a lot of decisions. Is kind of what it seems to imply. But yeah, I thought this issue itself was kind of a slog. I'm still really interested to see where this is going, but it's not there for me right now. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 10. I thought this was pretty rough. And a lot of people, it's worth mentioning, a lot of people seem to love this, but it's just not doing it for me so far. I hope it gets there, and I think I am going to give it at least one more issue, but it wasn't there for me yet. So yeah, that's my lightning round on 5 issues. Yeah, so we got 3 more to talk about. What do you want to talk about first?
do you want to talk about Shazam?
Sure. Yeah, this is the one I made you read.
Yes.
You read 3 issues of this.
I did.
I kind of forgot what the first 2 issues was going on because it took a 2-month gap during which was completely full of night terrors. So
Okay. So you can go over the first 2 real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one starts with Shazam riding a dinosaur, which I thought he was on another planet. Turns out he was not. He's just on Earth. Apparently, there's like these alien dinosaurs that just crash landed, and he was just helping them get back home. What else happened in that one? That was really like, honestly, I want to say that was like pretty much
You did
it.
get the point. I do remember because I really like the first issue. I remember that at the end is where Billy, or the captain, freaks out and starts like just yelling at everybody because what has kind of been revealed over the couple of issues is that the gods who give Shazam his powers are like unsatisfied with Billy, the way Billy's using them, and so they're kind of like taking over themselves, and so that kind of happens at the end of the first issue.
Yeah, and then the second one is his family confronts him first with what the heck actually just happened. And then there's like a dinosaur lawyer that comes after him.
Yeah.
Gives him like this ginormous amount of paperwork to do.
Yeah.
And then there's this, I think, is it Dr. Psycho, Captain Psycho?
I don't know.
Oh wow, okay. Psycho Pirate.
Oh, Psycho Pirate. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He was attacking a museum, and so Shazam went in there to stop him, and he like basically was like just like throwing like all the bad guys against like all of the priceless art, and the security guards were like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't care about these guys. That I just want to stop Psycho Pirate." And eventually he stops him and almost kills him with lightning. But he jumps in front of it before it could actually hit him. And when he blames Psycho Pirate for why he was doing this to him, Psycho Pirate reveals that he's not doing it to him.
Yeah.
That like he didn't have the power to do it. And yes, and then I think if I remember correctly, this one is the one where we learn that it's actually the gods that are controlling, like taking more control over Billy.
Yeah. Essentially, it seems to be they each get a turn at it, and then and then they have to pass it on to the next person. So I think it's now, who is it now? It's up to Atlas now, right?
I think yeah. So the first 2 I remember was the Solomon and Hercules.
Yeah.
And I think right now it's Atlas.
Yeah. What do you think of this so far?
In the third one, it was Atlas. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's fun. It's it's written by Mark Waid, who is he's a very long mainstay of the comics industry. He's written a lot of really great runs, and he's just a good writer. So he's definitely a kind of a writer that likes to write kind of big fun comics as opposed to like dark, serious, gritty stuff. And then also I just want to shout out to the artist on this is Dan Mora. Goddamn, Dan Mora is one of the best artists in the business. I fucking love the art in this series and everything he does. Yeah, I think this issue is fun. This one kind of sees Billy going to this place that's adjacent to Gorilla City. Yeah. And then Atlas takes over and he's like, "We're gonna just fly to the moon now." And I did kind of like how Billy starts to be like, "Huh, this is kind of weird, isn't it?" And then Atlas kind of recorrects his mind. He's like, "Nah, this is fine. This is all good.
This is all good." Yeah.
And then it ends with him going up and meeting Garguax on the moon, and there's going to be a big fight on the moon next issue, I guess. Yeah, this is fun. I like this series. I like the series a lot. It's not really going for any kind of big, deep storytelling or anything, but it's a lot of fun. With fantastic art and big talking gorillas, and that's always a plus.
Big talking gorilla.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say on this one.
No, me neither. I mean, not really. What's his face is like a spy for
Freddy. Yeah. Just Freddy got kidnapped by the gods. Yeah.
By the gods, he's a spy for them now. But really, besides that, no.
Yeah.
Not much.
I also gave this one an 8 out of 10. I think this was a lot of fun. I like this one a lot.
I liked it. I was gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
You planning on sticking with this one as it goes forward?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay, next up. Let's do Spider-Gwen next.
Spider-Gwen.
This is the only Marvel book you read this week.
Yes.
Continuing the Contest of Chaos. I don't think this issue is as strong as the previous two, but I'm still mostly pleasantly surprised by this event. I think this event is much better than I was expecting it to be.
Yes, so at first I had to like reread this one because at first I was like really confused. I was like, okay, wait, hold on. I don't understand
it's like
what's
they're
going
in
on.
medieval times and there's a dragon,
and then they were in like jet ski things, and then they were in like a
mafia movie.
Yeah, a mafia thing. And then they were in their regular things, and I was just like, I was so lost. And then we saw the
Tagaki, I think. Yeah.
Tagaki.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, didn't he already get like taken? And so I was like really lost there too.
Yeah.
But I guess that was before all that happened.
Yeah, probably by a little bit. Wait, oh no, that is strange because he won the fight, so he should be with Agatha.
He should be with Agatha. That's why I was like,
I guess. Okay, the only explanation I can think of is that maybe they just all of these issues are taking place at the same time, and that's the only thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Although that also doesn't work because Spider-Man clearly happened before then, because he joined up with Jessica.
True.
And then was like, hey, there's a weird Storm and Iron Man are fighting. This is kind of weird. So that also doesn't check out because the flashback page said that them going through happened the day before this fight between Gwen and Ami.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if the continuity is a little bit fucked, it seems. But
yeah, so I was a bit lost there, and then so when I reread it, I realized, oh, okay. This is the chaos happening. Like, it's literally them. I don't really understand why they're going to these different worlds. Or, no, they explained it. It was like a ride or something.
Yeah, it's
yeah. That's right. Yeah, I mean, they held on. Like, they didn't get absorbed into the chaos, like, right away.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Although it seemed like they kind of did, but then they were just kind of fighting it throughout. And they're like, why the fuck are we even doing this?
Exactly. Like, they realized. Because at first they were just lost, right? They were like, we're in this different place, like we gotta help these people. And then when they were like when they started talking to each other is when they were like, yeah, wait, like we're not the enemy here.
Yeah, I think that was kind of an interesting angle to take it. I think it did kind of make it a little bit more unique than a lot of the other ones, which is like, hey, we're here and now we've got purple magic in us and now we have to fight. Like, it was a little bit of a different dynamic. I also think I don't think the fight itself was all that interesting, but I think what made it interesting and unique was the fact that it was taking place in a bunch of these different theme park settings. So I think the setting of it made it interesting, but the actual fight not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have too much to say on this. Oh, there's also the backup story as well, which I shouldn't forget. Essentially, now Agatha is contacting Clea and being like, "Hey, I need you to trust me, Clea." Which is interesting. It makes me think that maybe Clea or maybe Agatha's actually not trying to destroy the world, which it kind of seemed like I don't know. She's been acting sus, Sebastian, if you don't mind me saying so.
Who, Agatha or Clea?
Yeah, Agatha, not Clea. Clea's
okay.
Fine. I don't really know what Agatha's plan is here. But
I mean, we know she's just trying to recreate the Darkhold, but like,
yeah,
I don't know why she would tell Clea to trust her on that.
Yeah, well, that makes me think that maybe it's not Sinister, because it kind of seemed like it was Sinister.
Yeah.
But now maybe not. I don't know. This event, I think, again, it's fine. It's fun enough. It's definitely better than I thought it was going to be. I think I am kind of ready for it to wrap up. There's 3 more issues left, and I don't mind the series, and it doesn't feel as exhausting as Night Terrors did. Obviously, just much fewer issues, but I think I am kind of at the point where I'm ready for this event to wrap up now. I think I got it.
Yeah. I mean, next week we got Venom versus Deadpool.
Yeah. Next one is written by Alyssa Wong, who I'm a fan of their writing generally. And they've been writing. They wrote the previous Deadpool series that just wrapped up, or is wrapping. I think it just wrapped up. And I think I haven't finished it, but so far what I've read, that's pretty fun. So I don't mind that too much. But generally, also Venom and Deadpool are 2 characters that, if you're not careful, they can very easily shift into irritating.
Yes.
So next issue could be kind of an annoying one, but
we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah. Who do you think is gonna win, by the way?
Well, I mean, usually, all right. So the only one that hasn't done that is the 4th one with Fantastic Four. Because all the other ones is like you mentioned, if it's their comic, they lose.
Yeah.
And so far that's been true except for Fantastic Four. Moon Knight lost, Spider-Gwen is lost.
Yep.
Iron Man lost, Spider-Man lost.
Yeah.
So it's Venom Annual #1. I wonder.
The thing is, I don't know if Deadpool could beat Venom normally. That being said, Deadpool, I don't know if this is still the case. I think first of all, I should say, I think it's probably a pretty even matchup, but I think Venom would probably take it. That being said, though, Deadpool might still have part of the Carnage symbiote in him, because he did have that at the start of his most recent Deadpool run. So if that's the case, then I think Wade will probably win. The other thing is, the fact that Alyssa Wong is writing this, and Alyssa Wong wrote the previous Deadpool series, makes me think that this is probably going to go to Deadpool.
Yeah.
But because it's also I'm looking at this. The next one after that is X-Men Annual, and it's Cyclops versus Captain Marvel, and I'm like, that's not anywhere. That's not a fight at all. Carol will fucking trash Scott. I love Cyclops, but that is not a contest. Yeah. Anyway, as far as the Spider-Gwen Annual goes, I think this is pretty fun. I think it was all right, and I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was not as good as the last 2, I don't think, but still fine.
6 out of 10. Oof. I'm going 5 out of 10.
All right. Well, that leaves us with Birds of Prey #1 as the final issue we'll be talking about.
Yes.
This is written by Kelly Thompson. I believe the artist's name is Leonardo Romero.
Leonardo Romero.
Yeah. What did you think on this one?
Okay. I don't want to say it was bad, because in reality, I don't think it was bad, but it was pure setup. We learned exactly what was happening at the very last page, and the entire thing we were just kept in the dark, and it was literally just the heist recruitment part of a movie. That's all this was.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of these old-timey art style type things anymore. I don't know. I don't know. We've just had so much of that in the past, and I just think we should just get past it at this point. But yeah, I don't think I think the idea that the next ones are gonna be interesting. They have to break into Themyscira. I think that's gonna be really, really interesting to see how that actually goes down. But we shall see. I didn't completely dislike it, but it was just pure setup, so I found it a bit boring at times.
Interesting. I thought this was great. I liked this one a lot. This was one of those ones that I didn't know really whether or not I'd be picking it up. This was kind of a spontaneous pickup. But I like Kelly Thompson's writing for the most part. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give this a shot. And I'm glad I did, because I thought this was really great. I had a really fun time with this one. It is a lot of setup getting, for the heist and everything, but I think it was fun setup, and I liked the team more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I remember that was your concern, that you didn't know if Big Barda and all that was going to be
Yeah, Barda was my favorite member of the issue. She was my favorite part of it. I thought she was really fun. But yeah, I mean, looking at the team, right? Like Black Canary and Harley Quinn and Cassandra Cain, those are pretty safe picks for a team like this, for a Birds of Prey team. And then Barda, I was like, I don't really know how I feel about Barda as a character. And then I didn't even know who Zealot is. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So the team I wasn't entirely sold on, but I think they worked really well together here. I think they were a lot of fun. Cass and Barda get a really fun action sequence. It is a lot of setup, but I think it's really fun setup for the most part. And I like the characters, and I actually did like the art a lot. I thought the art was really, really fun. I think there were points of it where I thought almost I saw somebody else mention this, and I kind of felt the same way looking at it. The copy I had almost felt like there was maybe a printing error, because there felt like it was kind of fuzzy in points. Just the way it kind of the art looked. But I don't think that was on the fault of the artist at all. I think the art was good. I liked it a lot. I do like the kind of clean art style that this uses. Yeah, I'm definitely this is I've added this to my pull list. I'm definitely going to be continuing to check this out as it goes on. This wasn't my pick. This is probably my third favorite issue I read this week. Actually, I like this one quite a lot. So I ended up giving this a. I also ended up giving this an 8 out of 10. I think this was a good fun one.
I give this a 7 out of 10.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know who this Meridian character is, but she pops up at the end. Also, for some reason, Barbara's not part of the team. They mentioned that they're like, oh, don't tell Barbara about this. So
don't tell Barbara. Barbara being Barbara Gordon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Who I believe, I don't know if she's currently Batgirl, if she's Oracle right now. She switches like all the time, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm excited to keep reading this one. I think this is a good one. So you got anything else to say on the week?
Comic week as a whole? Nah, bro.
All right. Well, that wraps up this issue, and I think this is a bit of a shorter one. It's next week is gonna be a big one though.
That's gonna be a big one, yeah.
Yeah, looking ahead at it. Just gonna shout out some stuff. This isn't everything, but this is stuff that I'm really excited for. New series from Al Ewing starts next week. Avengers Incorporated, which is like an Avengers murder mystery. That one looks really fun. Batman and Robin #1 comes out next week. That's written by Joshua Williamson, who I generally like, although after Night Terrors, I don't know. Not that I think the Joshua Williamson written issues of Night Terrors were good, but I still like that event soured me, I think, on the whole. Also have got the start of a new Daredevil run. This is one that's written by Saladin Ahmed and drawn by Aaron Cooter. I'm excited for this one. It has big shoes to fill with after the Chips and RC run last that just recently ended, but I have faith. Daredevil tends to bring out the best in its writers, so I'm still really excited for this, and I wish them the best. New issue of Green Lantern coming out. God damn, I love this series. I'm really excited for that. New issue of Hulk coming out. We just had a new one last week. There's another one next week. He's fighting Man-Thing. I'm really excited for that. New issue of The Madness coming out. I loved that first issue, so I'm excited for that as well. And then, we got more Contest of Chaos. We got, some other stuff that I will be getting but not caught up on, so we won't be talking about that. But, it's a lot of really cool stuff coming out next week. You got anything to shout out next week?
Werewolf by Night.
God.
We're reading that one.
Oh, God. Yeah, I guess we are, huh? Yeah. For anybody not aware, which I think would be, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show.
On the show.
I love the Werewolf by Night Marvel special presentation thing on Disney Plus, but I fucking hate the character in the comics. I'm not a Werewolf by Night fan, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Yes.
But that'll wrap it up for this week. Thank you everybody for watching or listening. If you are on YouTube, you can of course like and comment, like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you have enjoyed the video and you want to see when we upload new stuff. You can also leave a comment what you thought about the issues this week, and what you are excited for coming out next week. And if we missed anything that we should be reading, if you're over on Spotify, thank you for listening over there. You can follow the podcast over there if you've been enjoying it. You can also, I've been last week I put a poll up to see what people have been liking. So I'll be doing that again for the future episodes as well. So if you have an issue that you really liked over there, you can put that you can choose that in the poll. You can participate in that poll. And then also you can email us at earthsmightiestcomicspod@gmail.com. That's all one word with no apostrophe in the word Earth. That's where you can kind of give us more opinions on comics and stuff as well. And yeah, thanks again for listening, everybody. That'll wrap it up for this week. So we will see you all next week with the mega huge week